Hello everyone, Merxerain here, and welcome back for another episode in our Satisfactory series. In the last episode, we found coal, and in this episode, we are going to get some water going and get the coal pumping all the way over here. In fact, there actually happens to be a water source, like right over in that direction. So we're going to set up a water pumping facility there, and we're going to set up our coal plant up there too. So that's where our power station will be, and then we'll route all the power over to our main sort of hub over here. But we also need to get all the coal, which is going to be way over there, across. Now, we're probably going to set up a belt system like we have for our copper here. And I do actually really want to play around with, let's go ahead and take a look at the hub. I really want to play around with the vehicular transport, but we're not going to set that up now. That's going to be a next sort of situation. So we're going to do the belts first. But I think we really need to get ourselves a better belt system, a faster belt system. And that's why we're going to start this episode off with the Conveyor Belt Mark II. We have everything we need, except it looks like we may be a little short on these. So let me go grab the rest of my iron plates, and then we'll finish this. With the rest of our iron plates, here we are to hit the big red button.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
Alright, let's go ahead and head over in this direction, and let's set up our water pump. Now, it's not going to have any power just yet, and that's fine, but we kind of want to get some placements ready. And then we're going to get the coal, not the copper, we're going to get the coal moving over in this direction. And then we'll be ready, I think, to hook everything up to power. Looks like there's some quartz. We'll grab this on the way, too. Then right up the hill, this is where our water is at. So if our base is right over there, we're going to sort of orient ourselves, I think, to be right about here. Water excavator. We'll just, I guess, set that right there. I don't know if it matters exactly where it is. And it does appear that we could probably get multiple excavators all in this one lake. But let's just do the one for now. There it is. That's cool, that's cool. However, I think we're going to want to get some pipes set up. But let's swim over to this real quick and see if we can interact with the contraption. But we can. Can I stand on it? I don't know. Here we go. Here we go. Looks like we can do 120 cubic meters per minute. It's going to take 20 megawatts of power. We'll have a flow rate and a max flow rate. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and set up some foundations, and then we can get these snapped correctly to, like, the, world. Just fine. And now that we have that set up, let's get a fluid buffer on here. Okay. I'm trying to look at this and understand, like, is there a specific in and out, or can both sides be ins and out? It's kind of looking like both sides, honestly. We might replace this after we get this set up on here. I think that's likely what we're going to do. Aha, okay. There we go. That looks good to me. Now we should be able to get our pipes easily connected, I think. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so once this thing has water, we should begin to fill this up. Unfortunately, I have miscalculated, and we do not have enough reinforced iron plates, but this is my plan. Okay, let's go ahead and close that. My plan is that we'll get the coal facility right here, and then we'll have a storage over here somewhere where our coal's going to fill in, and then it'll fill out and come into the back of our power station. And who knows, maybe we'll have enough copper and water to power more than one. We'll see. We'll end up finding that out, I'm sure, fairly quickly. All right, let's go ahead and place that right there. Then all we should have to do is connect, I think, a water pipe in. So I have coal on me, and we're just gonna, like, stick that in there just to start us off, right? Get ourselves this biomass burner right here to start us off, and I think we'll get a single pole. Okay, and theoretically, if I put anything in here to burn, which I don't actually have anything on me, but just anything, really, right? We just want to kick it off. We should then be able to swap over to the coal. It's burning it very, very quickly, but kind of what we want to see, right? Here comes the water in the pipe. You know, does this have a side on it where we can actually, like, see? No. I was hoping to have, like, a little, a window. But we are getting a little bit, and this is likely... Yep, we have water in the machine. It is now burning fuel. Okay, okay. It does appear to burn it quite fast, but the production, look at that, 75 megawatts. Yeah, that's almost out. I think what I want to do is I want to turn this off as to not use up all the coal right away. Which means this should be burning slower. However, now we're out. I'm kind of interested to see how much water we end up with, right? Like, this thing should be full. We should be able to turn this on whenever we want now. So this biomass burner is likely done. I don't think we're going to need it anymore. But now, of course, we need to work on getting coal up to this system. I hope you didn't forget about this drop pod here, because we certainly came prepared this time. We have the 5 necessary items. Pull the handle to open the door. Oh, what is this thing? A hard drive. A hard drive with fix-it data. Analyze it in the MAM to salvage its contents. Okay, we don't have that unlocked yet, but we will soon.
Has been salvaged and can be repurposed to unlock an alternate recipe.
An alternate
Salvaging
recipe?
More hard drives will provide additional alternate recipes.
Also, apparently, on reloading the game, these things have respawned. I am interested now to see if they respawn every time, because that could be a nice little quick hiccup there, right? Thankfully, though, it does not appear that the enemies down here have respawned. I'm thinking we're going to run our coal up that direction. So let's go ahead and orient it in the direction we want it to go, and that would be about right there. Okay, so the conveyor belt Mark 1s take normal iron plates, but the Mark 2s take the reinforced iron plates, and I don't know if we'll have enough to get all the way to where we're headed, so we're going to have to figure that out. Hopefully we do. If not, we're going to have to make some more reinforced iron plates. We're going to set a temporary storage container up here because if we take a peek down here, let's get the Mark II going, and I get this run all the way up here. Look, that takes 26 of our reinforced iron sheets already, so that's quite a lot. So we're going to get a temporary middleman storage here, and then potentially run normal all the way across. And we've run out of iron plates, so we're going to need to get a lot more iron plates in order to get this going across. If I knew a little bit more about how the trucks work, because I'm sure they also take some kind of fuel, we could maybe just do that instead. However, because we don't have them researched, we've never used them before, and I don't really know what they take for fuel, I do feel like setting this up first is probably our best option. Get everything over there run on renewable resources, and then we can start, planning for it to be more efficient. We're about to do our finishing touches on connecting. As you can just barely see all the way over in the distance, we do have our line running over there by our space elevator, and it makes its way over to here. We are just using the Mark I conveyors, but that's fine for now. We just really want to connect it in right there, so maybe we should actually have changed that. It's just barely too long to make it up to our storage, but that's okay. We can bring it in most of the way, right? In fact, let's try to keep it at a straight line if we can. About, I think, right here? Now then, the final thing that we have to do is we need to run power, honestly, from here, right? Because we want this to power itself. So we need to run a power line from all the way up here, all the way over there. And then once we have this working and it's powering itself, we'll then start swapping out the connections to all of our normal machines over here. So we're just gonna run this line all the way across. I'm gonna try and keep it right next to the conveyor belt as well. Okay, here is our final connection from there into there. Now, we do not have the system turned on, but that's, I think, okay. We're gonna have to run all the way back and get it turned on, of course. Do we have any coal? Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and throw the coal in now. And we'll start to see it going. Now, these are only the Mark I lines, so they are slower, but this will at least get it started. All right, let's kick this thing on. Burning fuel. So what this tells us, though, right, is one pump is able to supply more water than one coal generator needs. So we may, oh, that's interesting looking. We may be able to power 2 of these from one pump. We'll find out soon. I'm also not sure if the amount of coal that's going to be generated will be enough to power more than one. The hope is that it will. However, the conveyor belts might not be fast enough to keep up with it, so we'll certainly find that out too. We just need to wait a little bit of time for stuff to kind of make its way across. And I think we're going to run all the way back to make sure that it is indeed creating coal. Okay, and this is all the further that the coal made it, and this is the coal that we manually put into the storage. Also, running on this little thin walkway is a little scary over that big gap. Ah, okay, we can see it's working. So if we just double check here, we can see, right, that there is a 25 megawatt consumption on this line happening, which is fine. This should be filling up, right? This supposedly transports double the amount of material than this, so we should be getting in 2 for every 1 that's coming out. Which does appear to be the case, right? We are going up and down, but as a net up. And down here, we're getting 120 per minute. So really, if we had this all on the Mark II conveyor belt, it would be transported as fast as we're able to produce it. And you know what? Looking at this fluid buffer, we can actually see down here what the fill rate is and the drain rate, and it's actually calculating a net, interestingly enough. So we can actually tell here for sure that we're using less water than we need. And then what happens, right, is this thing fills up, and then the pump shuts down, and that's why we see this going to negative. But when it's going into the positive, it's going quite high. I think we could probably supply at least 2 of these off of one pump, really. And we have now depleted the coal that we had put in here. Remember, we had only put 100 in manually, so now we're going to wait for everything to show up. So the power has now shut off. There's no more power in the system. The miner all the way over there is going to be stopped. However, remember, that little storage buffer, it has, you know, probably filled up enough to probably keep this belt going until this coal makes it all the way. And we're getting pretty close. Let's see what happens when we get there. And here we are, it's about to go in. It's going in now. And so remember, our hope here is that this will fill up faster than it burns. And look at that, it does. That means we should probably, even with the Mark I conveyor belts, be able to power or fuel more than one of these coal generators, which is pretty sweet. I don't know if we need to set a second one up this very moment, but we can at least start swapping some of our systems down there to be coal power. We're going to take the power off of this line here, and we're going to just run it straight in. Okay, and now we're going to run this pole, I think, right to here, and then we're going to start swapping things out. So let's remove this line. So this right here, this one biomass burner was powering our whole mining operation. However, now it's on coal power, which is great. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. Max consumption is 43, so we're still good. We're still good. Next, we're going to run it into this over here, and I think what I want to do is I want to shut this off first. No power. Perfect, just what we want to see. I'm actually going to remove that line. Pull that in, and look at that. Everything's up and running. Now our max consumption is 70, when our production is 75. So that automatically, right off the bat, tells us we do not have enough power to sustain all of our machines, right? Our whole copper production for all the different things over here is running on that one biomass burner, and you know what, the miner was running off of this, which comes from here. So this one biomass burner was doing the copper mining, and then also our limestone into concrete. All right, it's now time to put our second one in here, so let's go and get our new foundations. Should really only need one more row of these, I think. And then one more coal generator, and let's make sure it's facing the correct way, which would be this right here. And I think we'll put it right up against the other one. Does it matter if we can walk through here? I mean, we can clearly walk through here, so there's no reason to put a gap. I think we're fine. Now we just need to make sure that we're able to correctly split our water and our coal. And actually, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if the water can easily run over here, or if we're going to need to have like a system that lifts the coal up over the pipe. So that might be a little challenge. We need to use the pipeline junction in order to split the water off. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up that cross junction right here. We're going to try to get it lined up, hopefully with both of these. Perfect. If we get this to run in directly there, and this one to run in directly there, that should put this back in operation. Let's just double check that it's filling back up with water. It is. See, this is where my my fear is coming from, is how are we going to get the coal in? And we might need to run it over, like I was saying. But I think I want to use another one of those little junctions, like right over here. Right there. Oh no, I'm out of copper sheets. Well, it looks like I have to do another run back down. But let's make sure that this still has coal in it before we leave. And back down we go. Okay, our next junction in place. And you know, I kind of like the junction just because it's keeping everything at nice, tight 90-degree angles. Alright, that is now in place. If we come over here, we should actually see this filling up with water now. Perfect. Perfect. It's filling up just how we want it to. Now let's work on the items. So can we use this conveyor lift? This is what I'm hoping for. I really don't know how this works. It almost looks like it goes in the bottom and then comes out the same direction, but just on top. But I would really like to connect it right there. Can I do that? Aha, and then we turn it. There we are. That's, I think, pretty good. That's exactly what we really want. Let's go ahead and do another one right here. Now, is this actually connected? Oh, you know what? They look connected. That's nice, that's nice. So we could connect that indirectly, but of course we know that we are gonna need the splitter. Conveyor, splitter. Your question is, where exactly do we put it? Am I able to somehow put the splitter on this? Oh, that is weird looking. Does this work? I have no idea if this works. I guess we're gonna find out real quick. We got this going there, and we'll get this going. Oh. I can't get it to connect in. Hold up, hold up. Oh, you know what happened? I think this is coming out the wrong direction. There we are. This is what we wanted. Well, I guess we're about to see if this works. Go ahead and run up our ladder here so we can see from the bird's eye view. Oh, I see stuff going down. That's a good sign. Are we seeing anything moving over? The answer is no. So let's go ahead and remove this belt and then rebuild it. There we go. Okay, so we are 29, 30, 29, 30. This is going to go to 31. Okay, perfect. That means our coal production is able to keep up and actually overproduce for what one of these is able to do. So we should actually start seeing these come in now. And I can turn this on as well. No connection, right? I mean, like, it has nothing to run. And then I'm just going to route this power right from there all the way down to that pole. And now it's connected in. So we should have, if I go down there and check that pole, or our system down there, we should now be at double our production. Oh, and take a look. This has actually changed. Now when I take a look at these, that used to say max production was 75, and now it says 150. So it knows that they're all in the same sort of power network, which is pretty sweet, if you ask me. I'm gonna get some more of those things swapped out down below. So back down at our base, right, this is the power line that we had originally brought in, and this was the connection for our coal, right? We can see it's got the 150, currently using 70. Well, actually, 70 is the max consumption, but we're actually only using 55, which is fine. So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna delete this line, and then we'll just plug this guy from there right over to here. And now, all of our copper should really be powered by this thing, except for the secondary production. So sorry, this line here powered the limestone and the copper way down there, But if we want, I could run this to there, and now everything's in. Everything's in. Let's go ahead and kill that. We're gonna turn this off. Double check our power line. Max consumption is 96. This little blip here, that was clearly when our biomass burner was part of our network. So our production down here doesn't look any different. Not today, not in this episode. However, we do know that the power is taken care of. We do not need to worry about gathering any more biomass. Everything that we have here is running off of coal. Coal is fully automated. It is done. These biomass burners, we can repurpose. We can delete them if we want and just take their materials back. Or we could set them up and have them be a sort of backup power, but I don't know why we would need backup power. I don't anticipate the coal to just die. With the project being completed, this is a good spot to end our episode. We really got to where I wanted to be with the automated power, so now we can focus more on efficiencies, right? So we already know that we're not in a great spot for iron, but that's okay. I think we produce enough for our needs right now. We don't need to worry about moving to a new location. At least that's how I feel at the moment. But what we do need to do is we need to automate copper sheets. We need to automate reinforced iron plates. Probably modular frames. I don't really know what they're used for. And then rotors. We also need to get those, because once we get all of those things automated, I mean, we have infinite production right now, right? We don't have to worry about fueling. So we're never going to run out of iron. So that's great. We can just turn them all into materials. If we take a look at our hub terminal, right, we should really do this field research next. It's going to unlock the MAM, the Molecular Analysis Machine, which hopefully will lead us to new things, you know, and I don't really know what it does. It's for R&D. Turn it into usable research options and new technologies. So, yeah, I feel like this is our next real big thing that we need to do in order to figure out how best to proceed. And so with that, riding the coal conveyor belt to its power system generation, this is where we end the episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Mercs Rain signing off.